All right, you know what time it is. It's time to recap this amazing boxing weekend we had. A historical all-women's fight card out there in the UK. DeGuo did her damn thing. The return of Deontay Wilder. Devin the Dream Haney Lord Devin successfully defends his straps. Without further ado, let's chop it up.
Hey, hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, fam? It's Hot Boxing Minute, your favorite pharmaceutical engineer turned boxing analyst, back at you with that uncut realness as only I can bring it to you. First things first, let's talk about this all-women's card out there in the O2 in England. Claressa Shields the GOAT gets the 10-round unanimous decision win over Savannah Marshall in an epic fight. Look, y'all know about Claressa Shields, the GOAT. Two-time undefeated. Coming into the fight, she was undisputed 2 times and unified in a third weight division. Well, now she's officially broken another record. She is undisputed 3 times in addition to having 2 gold medals in the Olympics. You got to give Claressa Shields her damn flowers. No, she's not pleasant, but you know what? Neither was Hope Solo. Neither was Ronda Rousey. Neither was Conor McGregor. Shoot, Conor McGregor's still unpleasant. Neither was John McEnroe, but you know what? We got to keep the energy the same, folks. We got to put Claressa Shields on the same pedestal we put them on. Now, when they had their attitude fits, nobody batted an eye, but everybody gets so mad at Claressa Shields. Anyways, I've never been one to get mad at Claressa Shields. If I grew up in Flint, Michigan, where they didn't have clean drinking water, I'd be upset and pissy all the time, clapping back directly at my haters, which is what people don't like her for because she's outspoken and she says some crazy stuff. But you know what? They're athletes. They're entertainers. We can't hold them to some high moral ground. Anyways, my prediction going into that fight, if you follow my content, I knew Claressa Shields was going to put on a boxing clinic, and she did so against Savannah Marshall. You could see in the first round that hand speed was going to be too much of a problem for Savannah Marshall. Now, they have that one loss on Claressa Shields' whole entire boxing record, and it was 10 years ago, 2012, in the amateurs against Savannah Marshall. And the fight actually looked a lot like that fight in which they gave the win to Savannah Marshall 10 years ago. It was Claressa Shields with the hand speed, putting it on Savannah Marshall. I'm not really sure how Savannah Marshall even got the win in that first fight they had as amateurs, because it was clear to me that Claressa Shields should have got the nod in that. Anyways, the right decision was made in this fight. There were definitely people from across the pond who were upset at the decision. Savannah Marshall is their girl. She has huge support out there, but I saw not much to debate, really. It was a competitive fight, a hard-fought fight between both fighters, but ultimately, Claressa Shields' ring intelligence, her combination punching, and her hand speed was just too much for Savannah Marshall. It played out exactly like, in my mind, the way I had it looking at this fight as it was building up was pretty much Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder all over again. You've got a heavy-handed knockout machine with a very questionable resume against a tested technician in the form of Claressa Shields. And Claressa Shields got the win. She is the GOAT. So many interesting things happened this weekend, especially in that fight card out there in the UK boxing community. What did you think about Claressa Shields' performance? Was the 10-round unanimous decision victory the right call? Let me know in the comments section, y'all. Let's chop this up. The second big fight card on that event, of course, was the heated rivalry between Mikaela Mayer, the unified super featherweight champion, and Alycia Baumgardner. What a fun fight. What a fun rivalry it has unfolded. Let me go check up some information real quick on who had what belts, because I feel like that might be pertinent information. So, Mikaela Mayer, both of them was undefeated. Alycia Baumgardner only had 1 loss. Now, Mikaela Mayer coming in had the WBC, had the WBO, IBF, and the ring super featherweight titles. The ring isn't really acknowledged as far as being undisputed. Only the WBO, IBF, WBC, and the WBA title. Hai Yun Choi, or however you pronounce her name, she has that WBA title out there in South Korea. She has been ducking and dodging both Mikaela Mayer and Alycia Baumgardner for a while now. And yeah, apparently her next opponent's going to be somebody that they have both beaten already, but Vanessa Bradford. But that's a whole different discussion in and of itself. It was a tough competitive fight. When all was said and done, Mikaela Mayer threw 32 more jabs than Alycia Baumgardner. And Alycia Baumgardner, Michaela Mayer landed 32 more jabs. Alycia Baumgardner landed 32 more power shots. Now, there was a lot of bad blood in the build-up to this fight between Alycia Baumgardner and Michaela Mayer, and it really all started when Alycia Baumgardner came in as the 9-1 underdog and got that crazy walking knockout over Terry Harper. That was last November, if I'm not mistaken. She has since had a fight against Edith Soledad Matisse. If I'm not mistaken, that is Lucas Matisse's younger sister or niece or something to that effect. But coming into this fight, I'm not going to lie, I kind of thought Michaela Mayer was going to win it based on her experience and her boxing skills, because we really hadn't seen Alycia Baumgardner in those kind of fights to where we could determine, is she ready to dog it out in the trenches like, say, Michaela Mayer against Amaya Bahamadouche. And we already know that outside of brawling, Michaela Mayer is very technical with her jab and moves laterally very well. Well, Alycia Baumgardner was the answer to the question that was Michaela Mayer. Alycia Baumgardner was using slick boxing technical skills, had counters for that jab, and she was throwing the overhand right and the right hand right down the pipe every time Michaela Mayer was trying to throw that jab out there. It was a good fight. It was very hard visually to see who was taking control. When all was said and done in that fight, I had it a draw. I was not mad at the split decision going in favor of Alycia Baumgardner. Congratulations, Alycia Baumgardner, Bomb Squad, who is now the new unified super featherweight women's champion of the world. She is one fight away from becoming undisputed. The only other belt in that division is Hyun Mi Choi out there in South Korea. And at some point, they're going to have to engage each other. Michaela Mayer did not take the loss very well at all. Immediately after the fight, she left the ring. She was upset. And in post-fight interviews, she feels that she won the fight. Alycia Baumgardner, in a post-fight interview, made no indication that she wants a rematch with Michaela Mayer. She said she has no interest in a rematch with Michaela Mayer. Her interest is in becoming undisputed. Maybe after Alycia Baumgardner becomes undisputed, they can run it back, possibly. Although I highly doubt it. I think Michaela Mayer is going to move up to 135. There is a slew of good fights at 135 pounds. And I'm talking, obviously, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, Delphine Persoon. The list goes on. There's a lot of good fights at 135 pounds should Michaela Mayer decide to bump up a division. Michaela Mayer is tall enough and has the frame to be able to accommodate that. I think that is a huge money fight for both Katie Taylor and Michaela Mayer. Alycia Baumgardner, oddly enough, going into this recent this explosion of women's boxing this year, we all kind of saw Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, and Claressa Shields as the three top ladies in the game. Claressa Shields has always been the GOAT to me, but Alycia Baumgardner just kind of came in, bogarted the spot, and because of her obviously attractive physical appearance and her natural charm and her fighting style, which is very aggressive and very technical, she has won over so many new boxing fans, and it's great for the sport. Women's boxing is on an uptick, and I'm always going to support women's boxing, you guys. I have been in boxing gyms most of my adult life, and I have never not trained next to female competitors. I have never not been regularly sparring against female competitors, professional and amateur. In my own gym, there are multiple-time national champions and undefeated professional women boxers in my gym, and they handle theirs, and they deserve their respect. Men, I know it's hard for certain men when they get past their testosterone-driven toxic masculinity, but you got to give these women their credit. This isn't like soccer. This isn't like basketball. I'm telling you, when it comes to combat sports, most men, to begin with, overrate their physical strength. They really do. There's a lot of women competitive combat sports athletes out there that can beat up your average dude. Whether or not the dude wants to admit it or not, it's just the damn truth. Most dudes can't bust a grape in a fruit fight. So I think when it comes to combat sports, men should try to make an exception if they want to be like that. Me, if it's good sports and it looks good to me visually, I'll watch it. I don't care if it's WNBA, women's volleyball, tennis, especially combat sports, MMA and boxing. And I don't want to get too high on a soapbox, But Alycia Baumgardner did her damn thing. Going into that fight, like I said, I kind of thought Michaela Mayer might win. Shoot, Alycia Baumgardner won it. Hats off to that woman. There are a lot of people that are upset about the decision that was made that granted Alycia Baumgardner the win against Michaela Mayer. Like I said, Michaela Mayer threw 32 more jabs in the fight. See, I'm messing up the speech again. So, Alycia Baumgardner got the split decision over Michaela Mayer. There's a lot of people who are screaming it was a robbery. Personally, I had it a draw. Michaela Mayer landed 32 more jabs overall in the fight. Alycia Baumgardner landed 32 more power shots overall in the fight. So, depending on the judges and what they thought, I am not mad at all about Alycia Baumgardner becoming the new unified super featherweight champion of the world boxing community. What did you think about that decision? Let me know in the comment section, y'all. Let's chop this up. Now, let's switch gears for a second, head out to the Barclays Center for that big PBC card. Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Oh, the chef's kiss. First round, vicious highlight reel knockout of Robert Helenius. In total, Deontay Wilder threw 3 punches. We all expected a knockout. I expected it to be within 4 rounds. It had just so happened to be in the first round at the closing minute, at the closing, portion of the first round. He knocked him out in highlight reel fashion. The phenomenal and frightening part about it was Deontay Wilder wasn't even loaded up. He was kind of off balance, backed up against the ropes, and threw a short right overhand that just put Robert Helenius out. He sent Robert Helenius to hell. Robert Helenius was there, unconscious, eyes rolling in the back of his head. Looked like he was kind of convulsing miniature for a few seconds there, but thank goodness Robert Helenius is healthy. He got up just fine after being knocked down. Did not get up to beat the 10 count. Deontay Wilder at 214 pounds gets his win, his confidence builder back after those back-to-back hellacious fights against Tyson Fury. I don't know what's next for Deontay Wilder. If I had to pinpoint it and take a guess, I would say, let's see. Alexander Usyk, I believe, is very interested in fighting Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury wants to fight Derek Chisora, I guess, in a third fight, which is total trash as far as I'm concerned. I don't think Alexander Usyk has any interest in any fights outside of Tyson Fury at the present moment. So, quick recap. Deontay Wilder got that vicious first round knockout over Robert Helenius, gained some confidence back, and if I had to take a wild guess, I would say that his next opponent is probably going to be Andy Ruiz Jr. That is the fight that, based on their ratings on the governing body's rankings and what makes the most money or that makes the most sense financially, it's definitely Andy Ruiz Jr. and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Boxing community, what did you think about Deontay Wilder's performance against Robert Helenius? Bomb Squad is back. What do you think about him fighting Andy Ruiz Jr.? Let me know in the comments section, y'all. We got to chop this one up. I want to know. Now, Caleb Plant, Listos Pelos Chingazos. Holy crap. Caleb Plant got the 9th round knockout over Anthony Dirrell in the most vicious fashion. Almost the same way he knocked down Jose Usagati. He did the tuck down, body shot hook, reload, body shot up top in consecutive order. He did it with Jose Usagati, but this time he got full leverage against Anthony Dirrell and banished him to the underworld. It was vicious. Anthony Dirrell was talking a whole lot of trash in the build-up to the fight. He even brought out the race card. He pulled out the classic Bernard Hopkins line, "I'll never let a white boy beat me." White chocolate, Tennessee's finest. Caleb Plant obviously took offense to that because he had a shirt on before the fight that said something to the effect of, "You don't know me enough to hate me." And then he had a shirt on in the post-fight after he knocked out Anthony Dirrell, "What now?" or something to that effect. Caleb Plant is all about it. Caleb Plant wants to play boxing's heel, and more power to him. More power to him. He increased his marketability by putting up a good fight against Canelo Alvarez, and now his marketability is shot through the roof with that knockout of Anthony Dirrell. So, it makes sense. Caleb Plant, Listos Pelos Chingazos, already boosted up his view in the public eye by fighting Caleb Plant. Oh, Jesus Christ, Caleb Plant. You can't fight Caleb Plant. You got to fight Canelo Alvarez. Anyways, let me get back to the thought I was saying. Caleb Plant initially got a boost in his public persona when he fought Canelo Alvarez. He lost but put up a good fight. Now with this recent knockout over Anthony Dirrell, his stock is through the roof. Now you got boxing fans screaming for that fight with David Benavidez. And now a lot of people are thinking maybe we shouldn't just dismiss Sweet Hands Plant as an easy target for David Benavidez. Boxing community, do you think differently about Caleb Plant going into this fight with David Benavidez? Let me know in the comments section, y'all. Let's chop this one up. I think Caleb Plant has a good chance of beating David Benavidez. In the same token, I think David Benavidez has a good chance too. David Benavidez clearly has that crazy offensive output, but he doesn't have Caleb Plant's defensive skills or Caleb Plant's footwork. And now we know Caleb Plant has one-punch knockout power, so I don't even know. I'm confused. Clearly, working with Stephen Bredman has worked miracles for Caleb Plant. Now, let's go. The last fight I'm going to cover, Devin the Dream Haney, George Feroz's Kambosos out there in Australia. Did we expect anything less? It was a shutout performance. Those final cards, hold on, let me read this. The final cards for Caleb Plant versus George Kambosos, 119-109, 118-110, 118-110. So essentially, George Kambosos Jr. got washed. George Kambosos Jr., I gave him the first round, and that was it. He looked really good. He was getting up in Devin Haney's face, disrupting his rhythm, switching stances. Devin Haney caught that timing real quick, re-upped his game plan, adjusted, and dominated George Kambosos Jr. And it got to the point where George Kambosos' eye was cut, he was bleeding, and he just really didn't have any answers for Devin the Dream Haney. Devin had that 1-2 and was throwing it down the pipe with crazy accuracy. I would say Devin Haney probably has the most laser accurate 1-2 combination in the boxing game right now. He already had one of the best jabs in the game. If he had more power on that punch, it would have been lights out for George Kambosos Jr. George Kambosos Jr. made a good chunk of change. He made 7 figures against Teofimo and made back-to-back 7-figure fights against Devin the Dream Haney. George Kambosos Jr. said in the build-up to this fight that he would retire. If Devin the Dream Haney beat him a second time, maybe he'll retire. Or maybe he'll pick up the bag on some high-action fights with some of the other guys in the lightweight division. I think George Kambosos is still a viable option. It's up to him, and we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. Devin the Dream Haney. Lord Devin Haney is the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. People don't like his fighting style. It is what it is. The man is undefeated. He has faced probably the stiffest competition out of anybody in the lightweight division by far, save maybe Lomachenko. Will Lomachenko and Devin the Dream Haney ever fight each other? After seeing Devin Haney's weigh-in, looking like a gaunt ghost of a shell, I would say he's going to move up to 140, but we never know. He spoke like he was really determined to stay at 135 because there's a lot of money for him in this lightweight division if he sticks around and defends those straps. I don't think he will, but hey, let's stay optimistic. Maybe we do get to see Lomachenko versus Devin the Dream Haney. Now, that's about it, folks, for this edition of Hot Boxing Minute. Just had to do a quick recap on this historical boxing weekend. We got some more fights coming up next week I'll make another video about. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Hopefully you're pressing follow. Folks, this is Hot Boxing Minute, the future of boxing analysis on YouTube and TikTok.